Women are getting robbed and men are not helping them. Women are getting robbed and men are not helping them. Today's video comes from Modern Dating Here. Their channel is linked in the description so you can go check them out and support them. Guys, this is insane. Women said, do not help us, stay away from us, never approach us, don't speak to us in public. And now that's what's happening. Women are getting robbed in public and men are just basically sitting by, not helping them and not doing anything to intervene. Watch in the video to fully understand the implications of men avoiding women, men watching as women are getting robbed or in situations where they need assistance and not going to help them. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
That was not real.
Wait. She was shocked because 3 guys saw someone taking her belongings, but they didn't do anything. Based on her reaction, she believes that they were supposed to do something about it. They shouldn't let it happen.
I feel like as a lady, I should never have to open a door, pump my gas, or like anything like that. Especially if a man is present. A man? Any man, even if it's not mine.
This is where she got it wrong. She is about to get a reality check, as this is not how things work.
The tranny? I'll open the door for her. I love them.
As a man, I feel like I should never have to do my laundry and cook or clean, especially when there's a woman around. Doesn't even have to be my woman. Get over yourself. She is right. I will gladly open a door for a lady. I don't mind holding the door for someone, but if you're not mine, I ain't paying for it. Holding the door is just a common courtesy for anyone, but anything other than that, I ain't doing, unless she's my lady. You better call your dad. If you want someone to do those things, at least make sure your man is by your side, as strangers are less likely to help when it comes to these matters because they also have things of their own to do. Most men don't mind helping people who actually need our support, not another able adult. Don't go to a gas station and expect a stranger to put gas for you because they probably won't do it if you display the characteristics of a person who is capable of doing it yourself. And based on her statement, I wonder what she would say related to what men don't have to do when there are women around. I guess she would agree that they don't have to take care of their house or meals, and I know most men would appreciate this idea as it would make things easier for everyone.
The text reads, I got robbed in front of 3 guys and none of them helped.
That was not real.
Wait. Regan, guess who's in town? Jeremiah.
No way, really?
He's
Let's
see that.
I wish I would be there, then we would be 4 guys. You are strong and independent. Why are you expecting them to do something you can do yourself? It's not about her being a woman, it's just about being nice and doing the right thing. Why did she expect an average person on the street to be a superhero? Unless they had the required training, they shouldn't be expected to intervene just because they are man, and this is something most of them struggle to understand. They won't try to be the Mr. Hero just because someone is trying to do something like this. We are more likely to analyze the situation and if possible help, but since they didn't do it, it means that they felt it wasn't safe enough to do so as it could make the situation worse, not only for themselves, but other people around. In this case, for example, they probably took her phone or something similar, and this is something that can easily be replaced, and as they didn't attempt to intervene, everyone is going home to their family. But we can also imagine another scenario. Imagine if they tried to help and someone got injured in the process. Now they will have to deal with some legal matters and many other things that could be avoided if they hadn't intervened. Besides that point, I still don't understand why they think that being a man means that we need to play superheroes for everyone on the street. Did she really expect someone she had never seen before and probably will never see again to get themselves in a funny situation just because someone was taking an item from her? She knew this situation could have an ugly outcome, so I didn't understand why she thought they should place their peace on the line just to prevent her item from being stolen. Next time she will come out with her boyfriend and maybe he will do more than those strangers. Most men wouldn't mind help, but we are not obligated to do so, and we will only do it when we believe it's safe. Otherwise, we will just step back as they did.
What do you think the issue is with dating right now?
Ooh.
Men.
Why?
Speak on that.
Literally just men.
What about men?
just their pure existence.
What could they do better?
Not exist.
So do you think you could survive without men?
Absolutely.
How long?
Probably longer than I would survive with men.
This video is a clear example of one of the reasons fathers should stay in their children's lives.
Guys, to be honest with you, a lot of men, it's the best that they just walk away. There was a guy on one of my videos, I made a video about him, and he commented that, he was married and he had 2 daughters, I believe it was 2 daughters, and he said the girls were driving him crazy. So he divorced his wife and walked away. And his primary reason for walking away was not necessarily his wife, but his daughters. He just couldn't deal with them anymore. So he divorced his wife and walked away. And he still has contact with them, but he's not actively with them. They don't live with him, and he now has his peace. And that's just and there were so many people angry about that. There were so many people furious that a man had the nerve to just walk away. And that's the power of MWA, men walking away. MWA is not MGTOW. MGTOW is men separating themselves from relationships and society. MWA are basically men with alternatives or men with options. And they are choosing from those alternatives, or there are those options. And that includes walking away from things and people that are not working for you, including toxic environments and toxic people. And as you can see, most women today absolutely hate us. This is the honest to goodness truth. To say that, guys, they do not want us to exist. Women's empowerment and all of that, it's been brewing for a long time. I'm not blaming feminism. I don't blame feminism for any of these things. And men need to stop blaming feminism as well. You must hold the individual accountable who made these decisions. Women as a collective, women individually, but as a group, made the decision to go down this path. Feminism did not take advantage of women. Feminism did not make women do something that they did not want to do. Women took advantage of feminism. Feminism did not take advantage of women. The more that we blame feminism for the way society is today, is the less accountable that women can and will be held for the choices that they've made. By saying that feminism is responsible for where society is at right now, it's stupidity. And a lot of you get pissed off with me for saying this because you want to just sit around and you want to attack an ideology, but you don't want to confront the individuals who made that choice. Long before there was a concept of feminism, there was the notion of continuous women's empowerment, women gaining right, and women having control over society and men. There has always been an internalized hatred towards men when it comes to these individuals. Within every woman, there is a certain level of resentment towards men. Women do not appreciate us. They simply take advantage of us. They use us for our utility, and then once we are husked, they throw us away and discard us, or they'll keep on trying to get out of us whatever they can until we no longer have breath left within our lungs.
Her opinion would probably be a lot different if he had been present and given her the fatherly experience.
You know how to change a tire?
Yeah.
You know how to fix a drain?
Yeah.
Walk me through it if it's busted.
Get the long snake thing and twirl it in.
That's not a busted drain, that's a clogged drain.
Then I would just use a different sink.
You just proved your point. You just proved your point.
There's,
Keep going. I'm listening.
There's
I'm listening.
female
I'm
plumbers.
Who do you think taught these plumbers how to plumb?
Maybe the other female plumbers that existed before them. A plumbing textbook. A YouTube video.
Created by men.
Trial and error.
Yeah, guys. So, I mean, here's the amazing thing about all of this. Right now in my own personal life, I am going through a lot of stress. I'm under an immense amount of stress, guys. You know why? Because I'm preparing like crazy for hell on earth. So I'm building out everything. I'm hammering down the hatches. I'm spreading, I'm building out my business. I'm building out my business. I am preparing for hell. I'm stuffing away money, beginning to load up on precious metals, cryptocurrency. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm over here busy. Many of you guys see what I go through. I wake up and I just start working on content. My head hurts right now as I'm recording this video for you. My head hurts. I'm popping a Motrin. I work 7 days a week and around the clock. Okay, and it's not just on YouTube. I'm working across multiple platforms, and it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. YouTube is not my business. I just use YouTube to expand my business. Okay? I am in so much pain. Even as I'm doing this, I'm in pain. I'm in physical pain right now. My head hurts so much from the back to the front. And I have to get my work done. Because we're heading towards hell on earth. So as women are out here saying that they don't need men, they don't care, men, they're pissed off with the existence of men. As soon as things go downhill, the same woman in the video will basically say, okay, well, men need to step up and fix it. Everything needs to be magically fixed around us. They don't understand that this time men are not coming to the rescue. And the simps have poisoned society, because the simps are only going to be out there shaming men, attacking men, speaking poorly of men. Guys, you're going to start to see a lot of confrontations between simps and women. And what's going to shock a lot of women is when these simps start telling them to shut up. And they're going to be they're going to be completely shocked. Who the hell is this man telling me to shut up? And they're going to say, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be the men who say that you support women? Yes. And you're telling us to stop speaking? Yes, because you're speaking nonsense. What you're doing is you're hurting women. So you need to be quiet. Guys, women are going to see, they're going to be shocked out of their minds when simps start telling them to be quiet, because they are not helping women, and they're going to discover, they're going to be blown away that these simps have an agenda. Okay? They are agents of the state. They have their own agenda. They are not fighting for women. They are fighting for themselves. People don't understand this about a lot of simps. The ones who cannot change and will not change. A lot of these men are agents of the state. They are fighting for themselves. This is their way of survival. You will observe that they will become violent and vitriolic if they don't get what they want. And it doesn't matter if a man or a woman is in their path. They are very, very dangerous individuals. And women do not know what they're dealing with. Simps are disgusting and dangerous. They have no sense of morality or decency. These are very, very degenerate individuals. Okay? You have to wake up and realize that the writing has been on the wall for a long time. You can see here now, men are not helping women. This woman was being robbed in plain daylight. And what did these men do? They sat back and they did nothing. Interestingly enough, it sounds like she was with another man, and he basically did nothing at all either. Do you see that? Because men are not reacting anymore. Men are not coming to the rescue anymore. Men are only protecting themselves. Even the state that's doing all of this madness, the state doesn't seem to comprehend that, hey, your interests are going to be lost, because if you don't have, the state is only as powerful as its enforcers. All right? Members of law enforcement and so forth. Without these people, the state cannot function. Without people to do the bidding of the state has no power. If it does not have enforcers to do its will, to carry out its will, it has no power. The emperor has no clothes. That's what happened in the Roman Empire. The emperor no longer had enforcers. Men walked away in unison. By the time that the Roman Empire was about to collapse, at the time of its collapse, the entirety of the empire was operating using slave labor. Men within the empire had long walked away and given up. And everything within the empire was being used to subsidize the women of the empire. And the barbarians, first they were being paid to protect the empire, but then when the emperor tried to pay the barbarians in land, the barbarians realized that the emperor had no clothes, could not protect themselves. The empire could not protect itself. They had no money, they had no soldiers, they had nothing. They pillaged the empire, tore it apart, and we were plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. And in the Catholic Church, the church ruled over humanity for 1,000 years, keeping everyone ignorant except for their own specific chosen people who they bestowed reading, writing, mathematics, and science upon. Okay? All of science was not lost. They had lots of technology still during the Roman Empire, during the Dark Ages. How do we know this? Because look at the massive structures that they created. Look at the art that they created. All of that art that they created during the Dark Ages, all of that brilliant architecture that they erected during the Dark Ages, that all requires advanced math and science. And now consider that all of that was done with none of the modern technology that we have today. This means that they had to have levers and pulleys and all kinds of tools to design and develop these things, to make the paintings, to all of this stuff. That's chemistry. In other words, they still had to have chemistry to develop these chemicals. All of the paintings, all of the paint that we have today, that's developed using chemistry. So they still had to have chemistry. All of that was kept by the Catholic Church. And they used it they basically ruled over men and women. They ruled over humanity through ignorance, because they were ignorant. It was only after 1,000 years that math and science were reintroduced to man and to the general population. And then we basically finally began to emerge from the Dark Ages. And we were plunged into it because, women were first given no-fault divorces. They began running off with gladiators. And, long story short, you also had the people preaching kindness, love and kindness. And as a result of that, we entered into a continuous age of stupidity where we underwent censorship. Ideas were now conflicted, all in the name of kindness, all right? And the empire and everything fell apart. And eventually men refused to participate anymore. And they left women, they left society, to Chad and Tyrone. And everything collapsed. That's the reason why you have Chad and Tyrone pissed off. That's the reason why you have Tyrones hollering and screaming right now. You have little Panchos hollering and screaming. Yeah, little Panchito. I had some videos of Pancho on TikTok hollering. I saw it a while ago, hollering and screaming because men are walking away. These men are furious with passport kings. They're furious with soft guy era. Why are they furious with these things? They're furious because men are no longer going to provide for their children, the children of these men. These men are now going to have their asses dragged into court and need to be shackled. All right. There's this Tyrone named Kells. All right. This man is a homeless individual who drives around LA. He's been homeless for a number of years. And he's angry at the passport bros, angry with soft guy era, angry with men walking away. Why is he so upset? He's upset because we're not subsidizing his living anymore. Men are no longer going to go pick up the women whom he's had children. He's going to pick up, form relationships with the women who's had children with and subsidize the living of his children anymore. All right? Because once these women get into relationships with these men, now these men are basically responsible for these women and their children, his children. So he can continue running around, getting drunk, crying on camera, and living this frivolous lifestyle because other men are always picking up the bill and the tab for him. All right? That's coming to an end. These men are going to lose their rights. He's going to lose his driver's license. He's going to lose his privileges. Me personally, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think that if you're behind on child support, they need to take away drinking too, like take away drinking rights. All right? That's another way. Don't let these men drink. Don't allow them to buy alcohol. All right? because men like this, they need to begin to feel the brunt of it. They need to begin to struggle. No cigarettes, no cigarettes, no alcohol, definitely no weed. Definitely no weed. In fact, if you're like, if someone says like, people are selling weed illegally, you need to they need to put something in place like, okay, well, listen, if you sell weed to someone who's behind on their child support, all right, then you need to get extra. So you don't get extra charges, all right, because these people are barred from purchasing. So you're gonna be, because these men, these Tyrones, these little Ponchos, Chad, all of these individuals, they need to be held accountable because they do not care about men. They are responsible for for a lot of poverty, destitution, and hardships that men have faced. All right, having men subsidize the living of their children because these men don't want to be responsible for the things that they've done. All right, these are single mother creators. So it's time for these men to be held accountable once and for all for the choices that they've made. A lot of women are going to find themselves in poverty, destitution, hardship going forward, and they're going to witness as more men let society crumble. Okay, guys, Gen Alpha is a group of horrible little individuals. I've already said that Gen Alpha is going to be a prison population, and Gen Z, this is the golden era. This is the golden age of Gen Z. Gen Z is going to be so terrible. They're going to become so horrible and atrocious in 10 years. I'm telling you, over the next 5 to 10 years, Gen Z is going to be so bad. Don't forget that Angry called it, that people are going to look back to 2024 and say, my gosh, I wish we could go back, because at least back then, they were staying inside and dropping out of society and playing video games and smoking weed. Gen Z, they're going to be out there stealing and squatting. Okay? They're going to be, guys, it's going to be so horrible with Gen Z because you're going to have a bunch of people who are no longer young people. They're going to be in their 30s, a lot of them, and they're going to be broke and desperate. All right? It's going to be frightening times. Absolutely frightening times. These people are just like the boomers, but they don't have the money. They don't have money and a good economy like the boomers. So they will do anything to get money. All right, they will control, alt, delete people. Stealing is like an afterthought for these people. They say that the boomers stole their future, so now they're going to steal it back. You have to remember that they view all of us as boomers. Anyone older than a Zoomer is a boomer. These people are devils. If you are 10 years older than a Zoomer, you are a boomer. Just take that into consideration. And the boomers, the actual boomers, these people are just trying to get as much money as they can before they ride off into the sunset. Guys, they're going to crash the stock markets. All right, they're going to do some real hellish crap to the stock markets because in 5 years, a lot of them are going to retire. The last of the boomers turned 65 in just, what is that, 4.5 years in 2029. All right, 2029. We're almost in 2025. All right, so in 4.5 years, or a little less than 4.5 years, the last of the baby boomers will turn 65. And many of them at that point will begin drawing from Social Security and Medicare. And keep in mind, 80% of the stock market is held by the boomers. Okay, their 401k and all of their investments, they're in the stock markets. 80% of the stock market is the boomers. And now they're actually going to be required to begin accessing those retirement accounts and withdrawing from those retirement accounts. So what's going to happen? It's going to cause a lot of those stocks to begin to plummet as the boomers begin withdrawing funds. So they're going to start selling off stocks. And you have to understand, the boomers want to enjoy their retirement. So many of them are going to be holding on to their jobs. So they're still going to hold on to positions, like top positions in companies. They're going to let those jobs go. And they're also going to hold a lot of other jobs that should, jobs working in Walmart and all these other places. They're going to fill those jobs as well. Why? Because they need that extra income, because half of the boomers have no retirement income at all. They are going to suck. Guys, listen to me. I've already said this before. They cleaned the meat from the bone. They suck the marrow dry, and now they've come back from the bone, and they're going to grind the bone until there's nothing left, until it is dust. and then sniff it. All right? When the boomers are done, there will be nothing left at all. That is their game plan. And they'll do it while calling it kindness. They do not care about anyone else. They are a narcissistic group of individuals, just like Gen Z. And Gen Z is going to be raging hell in society. And like I said, Gen Alpha will be a large prison population. Many, if most Gen Alphas, will never work a normal job a day in their lives. And by the way, guys, don't forget, guys, come and join, go. I want to remind you guys to head over to the Angry Guy community on, our Angry Guy Clubhouse. Go and join the Angry Guy Clubhouse and get some exclusive insights, get community support from me, and a free digital nomad blueprint by clicking the link in the description to get started. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Women are getting robbed and men are not helping them. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.